So this is another movie I knew virtually nothing about going into, but it had some surprises in store for me. Now the reason it even got my attention was the fact that it's an indie drama starring Steve Zahn, who's been in a lot of stuff over the years, but I think I started paying attention to him after his role in the TV show Treme. Anyway, I like the guy and this just looked decent on a very quick glance, so I watched it. And it turned out to be something quite different from what I initially imagined. And I really don't want to give anything away here because there are a couple of clever reveals here. Now knowing about them don't necessarily spoil anything, but I thought they were a cool addition to the movie anyway. But the general gist is that we follow this father who takes his kid out on a trip into the wilderness. Except things aren't necessarily what they seem on pretty much any level. In fact, this movie is deceptive in more ways than one. There's actually quite a lot going on beneath the surface here. Things that are slowly revealed as the movie progresses and you start to learn what's actually going on. And what's going on is a lot, but let's just say there are two major subjects the story tries to tackle. One has to do with the dad and the other with the kid, and they're sort of big topics to deal with in a movie. And any reasonable movie might want to tackle one of them, but this one takes on both at the same time. And I would have to call that overly ambitious because it feels like it bites off a bit more than it can chew. I don't think it really gave either subject the attention and care they deserved. And had it focused on only one of them, it might have pulled it off a bit more convincingly. But as it is, the whole movie feels a little bit uneven and not quite as balanced and nuanced as it needed to be. On top of that, I don't think they quite nailed the tone of the movie either. It feels like a drama that wants to be a comedy but doesn't commit to either one, and doesn't really strike a good balance between those two either. It feels like the more serious scenes often don't quite have the gravity they deserve, and the funny scenes tend to kind of feel like they undermine the drama. So yeah, there are definitely some issues here, and they aren't just surface level stuff either. But with that being said, I do think this is a movie with its heart in the right place. And it does feel like it's trying to take the subject matter seriously. And the problem is more in the execution, not the intention. However, not everything about the execution is terrible either. There are some good things about this as well. The first one being Steve Zahn as the dad. He did a pretty good job displaying a wide range of emotion here. I also thought everyone else on the cast did a good job, including Ann Dowd. Which isn't surprising, she's always great and another clear favorite of mine in this one. I also think it's a good looking, well shot and well edited and well paced movie. It's short, it's tight, it doesn't really leave room for any unnecessary bloat. And the overall message the movie sends is most definitely positive and uplifting. And despite the movie dealing with some heavy subjects, it does seem to have a rather optimistic outlook on things. Maybe even to the point of being naive, but I don't think that was really a problem. So yeah, I don't know, I did enjoy this to a reasonable degree. I liked a fair amount of things about it. But it's far from flawless, and I do think it should have limited itself to just dealing with one of the subjects, maybe the one involving the kid. It didn't need to complicate and muddy the waters by making the dad's issues as prominent as they were. So at the end of the day, I feel like giving this one something like a solid 6. Boop. But should you check it out? I mean, if you like small indie dramas, there are worse options out there. But ultimately it's up to your discretion because after all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel because that would be fantastic.